We have a full day's worth of Psychic Cup battles coming at you, and the first one is actually against Sarah Felrose, fellow content creator. We got paired up in Go Battle League. So he runs Rapidash on the lead, swaps in Alolan Raichu. So I bring in Malamar to throw these foul plays, gets to him pretty quickly. And I'll let this go down to a Wild Charge, just because the Bronzong should be able to fully farm down and then take care of the Rapidash, or at least survive long enough for Victini to come back in against the Slowking that's coming in here. And at that point, he just decided to top left. He told me in the comments of my community post that he made some adjustments to the team and then actually went 14 on a 14-win streak. So congratulations to him. I did not have quite that much success with this team, but it managed to do pretty well for me. Went positive in 4 of 5 sets, as you will see. And I think I might make some adjustments as I climb the ranks and see some different Pokemon coming out in the meta. But the team's pretty good. On the lead, you can, if you're in the mirror, just keep quick attacking until somebody throws in debuffs, and then throw your own energy after they debuff. Kind of like the Melmetal mirror with superpowers, shielding the first one and then having a little bit of an advantage over your opponent. But Bronzor on Galarian Slowking goes down to a Shadow Ball. I'm gonna farm down and then throw energy at this Victini, throw the Overheat, and it takes the game. Gardevoir on the lead. It's probably where we want to see it with this team instead of having them switch into Malamar. They come in with their own Victini. They're going to throw energy and I'll let them. And then I'll throw my own V-Create. Shield this next move. And throw another V-Create. They still have a shield, so I need to be a little bit careful of that, but I can throw a Heavy Slam at this Gardevoir. Bronzong will beat Gardevoir to their charge moves just because Charge is so slow. And Claydol is pretty rough for this team. It does generally well against Victini and Bronzong, and it doesn't do too bad against Malamar either. So I will put a shield up. I decided to record or edit this video at 2.5 speed just because didn't want the video to end up being too long, so bear with me as I try to keep up with these fast-paced matches. But Victini on the lead versus my Victini. They throw the V-Create, so I throw as well. Get the shield. I will shield up the second V-Create and throw an Overheat. Probably should have just thrown V-Create there. I think it would have taken it out as well. But I get to another V-Create against this Malamar, which I might not have, well, probably would have otherwise, but I would have had less HP remaining. So I bring in my own Malamar. And this is one of my earlier matches, so I do make a mistake here. I go for the Hyper Beam when I should have just gone for Foul Play. I don't make that mistake again in these battles, but they come in with a Bronzong. So I decided to bring my own Bronzong in, and I'm expecting a Heavy Slam, but it's a payback, so I lose that one. Not much I could have done about it. I just wasn't expecting them to get to the payback that quickly. But into this next match, Victini on Bronzong. Victini's pretty good against Bronzong, but after the debuff, I decided to bring in my own Bronzong, shield the payback, and I'm up energy. So we'll see if they elect to shield or just take the payback. They take it and come in with Claydol, which, like I said, is rough for this team. And I was thinking I could get to a payback, but I did not, so I lose this one. I just top left, even though I was already pretty much taken out. And another Victini lead. Just keep throwing these quick attacks. And they throw a move, V-Create, swap into Latias, which is another situation. I have 2 V-Creates to throw. I mean, they also have energy stored for when they come back in. But I figured I'd throw the V-Creates and dip into Malamar against this Latias. And I actually am able to farm it down before they get to a move. Throw a Foul Play against their Victini. and they'll throw energy, so I'll shield the first one. They swap out again into Oranguru. Fine to see it there. Malamar does pretty well against that as well. And they come back in with Victini. I can shield their move. And they get to another one, but I don't think it's going to be enough to flip this set. So into the next battle. Gardevoir in the lead. I do not have a Shadow Gardevoir built. I don't think I even have a regular Gardevoir built. I could build one, but I don't really feel like spending the dust. So probably won't see that coming out for me with this rotation of Psychic Cup. But I do have some other Pokemon built, like Hypno with Fire Punch and Shadow Ball. Might run that to see how it goes. A few other Pokemon, so subscribe to see the rest of the content for Psychic Cup. This will probably be one of my only long form videos. Probably just stick to shorts for the other teams I use, unless I find something that has a little bit more success than this team. This team has been pretty good to me so far. But like I said, be sure to subscribe, hit the like button so this content can get out to more people. And thanks for sticking around and watching these battles. For generally Alolan Raichu, I prefer to have Malamar come in just because I can get to the foul plays quickly. It does have some bulk to it, but after they threw the Thunder Punch, I was like not really too concerned about keeping the Malamar alive, and I don't really like getting baited, so they threw a Grass Knot, did a decent chunk of damage, and they swap in Malamar, but it's going to eat a foul play, and then I can shield this and throw a V-Create or an Overheat. I'm not sure which I threw. V-Create, I guess. Yep. And then hit the Slowbro for V-Create. Even resisted, it still does a decent chunk. And I get to another one. So this pretty much seals out the game. I can come in with Bronzong and finish it off. This battle is actually one of the best of the day, so be sure to pay close attention. Victini on the lead, they actually run Psychic. So Psychic V-Create instead of Overheat V-Create, so they don't have to debuff themselves. It's actually not a bad idea, but throw the V-Create at Oranguru, swap in Malamar. I can tank a foul play pretty easily, throw one of my own, up a shield, and they come back in with Victini, so throw another foul play. They shield it, so I will elect to shield as well. Double shield actually, just to get the energy gone, and then they come in with Malamar. I come in with Bronzong, get to the Heavy Slam. Bronzong does lose to Malamar, I believe, if it's just straight foul plays versus Heavy Slam or Payback, just because it can spam out with Psycho Cut. So I come back in with Malamar, get to this foul play, and this Victini has energy, so I actually catch it with my own Victini, and that wins me the match. So I get to the foul play, able to finish this one off. Shadow Gardevoir on the lead. Very common Pokemon to see in this cup, so always be prepared for it. I come in with Bronzong into a losing matchup here. I no-shield the first foul play just in case they get any ideas of farming down or farming up energy. Sometimes that plays out pretty well because Psycho Cut is resisted, double resisted actually, I believe. So you can see the fast move damage doesn't really hit at all. It kind of looks like Lock On from Registeel. But I'm able to flip it, and I have some energy built up so I can get the last shield from this Bronzong. And now they're looking at my Malamar on their Bronzong, which is good for me. They come back in with Gardevoir, so I instantly bring in Victini, because Gardevoir is a counter to Malamar, but they are able to take that with Charms. So into the next battle. Malamar in the lead for my opponent. Not too bad for Victini. They get to the V-Create and the foul play in the same number of turns. So I charge up to 2 V creates, shield the first foul play from the Malamar, and I have to use my second shield just so I don't take the foul play on Victini. But because my Malamar is a Shundo, no win CMP, so I decide to bring that in after they throw and get the last shield with my own foul play. Should be a Shadow Ball or a Sludge Wave, I believe. Probably be better to throw a Sludge Wave if you've got it on a Malamar. But they bring in a Bronzong, which Malamar can handle. Slowking comes back in, and I should just need to get to a V create. But they get to the Shadow Ball in time, and now I just need to get to a Heavy Slam. And I just barely do. Pretty close game. Lucky to clutch that one out. Into the next battle, another Shadow Gardevoir on the lead. Curious to see what other content creators are running in this meta. I mean, Zerfelros obviously said he adjusted his team, so he's not running the team in this video per se, unless he just adjusted the order of the team. But definitely like to see what success other people are having and adjust the team I'm running just to see if there's something that works even better than the success I've seen with this team. But shield this foul play, shield the next foul play, and just farm down. In comes a Wobbuffet, so I come in with Malamar. Should be a return. Yep. So it doesn't do too much damage. Wobbuffet is an interesting pick just because of the bulk it has. This Wobbuffet's only CP 1139. Doesn't get much higher than that. If it does get higher than that, I mean, you could best buddy it, I suppose. But Wobbuffet's able to take out the Malamar with return. Victini comes in, takes out that with V-Create. And they're down shields, so I'm going to get another V-Create off and finish them out. So Victini's, it's nice because you can get a lot of energy at the beginning of the match and then just unload it at the end when shields are dropped. You can also get the shields early on with Victini, because most things are scared of V-Create. Probably just as much as Overheat. It doesn't do too much less. And if you can clear the debuff after throwing it as well, it's just a pretty meta Pokemon to run. But Bronzong on Malamar, I'm actually able to flip that. In comes their own Bronzong. So the rest of my team can handle this pretty well. I'm not sure. Yeah, I take the payback, and they come in with Gardevoir. So I probably should switch out immediately, yeah. And willing to give up the shield to preserve the Victini long enough to take out the Gardevoir. And I do not get to the V-Create on the Bronzong, so I probably should have farmed up a little bit more and played that a little bit differently, but win some, you lose some. Malamar on the lead in this next battle. Throw the V-Create when we get to it. And I tried to swap into my own Malamar, but they CMP tied, so I couldn't. But after the shield, I bring in my own Malamar, get a shield with foul play. So I will drop this next shield and see if they elect to shield or let their Malamar go at this point. They let it go. Come in with the Victini so they can shield this foul play. I'm assuming they will. Oh, they don't. And they throw V-Create, so I bring in Bronzong to try and finish it off before they get to another move. Slowking throws the Shadow Ball, takes me out. So I come back in with Malamar, get their last shield, but this one's looking kind of rough, so I'll probably get to the Shadow Ball, take me out. But good game to my opponent. There's a lot of very strong battlers at this rank. Obviously, if I'm at the same rank as Zerfelros, who consistently hits Legend, they're at least decent battlers here, so these are some pretty good matches. I've been trying to do all my daily battles except for the very first day of the season, so we can get some quality matches, so you can see what actually works against good opponents. Not that you have to play all your sets every day to be good. I rarely do, but this season I figured I'd actually go for it. But coming with Bronzong on this Gardevoir, get to the Heavy Slam, see if they shield it. They don't. And of course I've got the Claydol, so that's gonna take out my Bronzong, and I luckily have a shield. Gonna throw the Overheat on the Claydol, and that's a good game. Alright, so they swapped out Bronzong for Malamar. So I swap out Victini for Malamar. Let this Hyper Beam go. That's a little bit of a shock to see that they went for that. But I guess they somehow knew that I wouldn't shield. Regardless, it didn't really give them too much of an advantage. I'm still going to hopefully get to this foul play and switch the mid-game here. So they come back in with Bronzong, are able to farm down, and I come in with Victini. Probably should have immediately come in with Bronzong, but I did not, so I'm going to throw this V-Create and get to another V-Create. But we'll see how this payback does. Not quite enough, and we're able to take it. So into the next battle, Claydol on the lead. I instantly come in with Malamar, and of course I have an answer to it. So this is already looking like a pretty rough match for me. But we'll try to farm up some energy on the Victini, throw an Overheat. Hopefully they won't shield it. They don't. And get to a V-Create here. I think I shield here. Yeah. And I'm not sure why I didn't throw the energy. I think I was trying to wait out the switch clock and save the energy for later after I brought in the Bronzong. But it's looking like a good game. Get to the Heavy Slam. They have 2 shields, and they're going to flex them, which is totally fine by me. I do that from time to time myself. So into the next battle, Victini on the lead. We will speed this up a little bit to spare you guys from watching me quick attack down while they are AFK. They come in with Latios, and they're going to eat a couple V-Creates. They shield the second one. They come in with Bronzong. They come in with their own Bronzong, and I probably would have surrendered there too. There's just not much they could have done after suffering that lag or glitch at the beginning. But into the next match, they have a Bronzong. They shield the first V-Create, so I bring in Malamar, and I will shield. It's actually a Bulldoze. Interesting choice to run in this meta. At least it has some play against Victini, I guess, without having to charge up to Payback. I believe Bulldoze is less energy than Payback, so not a bad call. Really, it depends on what you're seeing in the meta, based on what you should run. If you're seeing a lot of Charmers, Steel types are going to do well. Like Bronzong does decent, doesn't take too much damage from the Charms, and can handle the Charmers pretty well. If you're not seeing very many Charmers, Malamar is going to run free. Victini's pretty good against everything. But I do have Galarian Rapidash that I want to try out with Fairy Wind, and that was another close match, just barely lost, but win some and lose some, so it's all good. Medicham on the lead in this next match. I'm not really sure what the reasoning behind running Medicham is in this meta. Doesn't really have too many strong wins. Counters hit Malamar for neutral. Ice Punch hits most things for... I guess Ice Punch would be decent against like a Claydol, but other than that, I can't really think of a good reason to run it. But if you're running it, I'm not going to judge you for that. But in comes Galarian Rapidash, hit it with the foul play, take it out, and they opt to top left. So another win, and another Victini. So you can see Victini's pretty common on the lead. Shadow Gardevoir, regular Gardevoir. So plan accordingly. If you don't have your Psychic types 2 moved, or if you don't have certain Pokemon, just do the best with what you do have. If you want some team building advice, you can always join my Discord, link in the description. It is free, and I'm happy to help you build a team with whatever you have. If you want to support the channel Patreon, you can do that as well, link in the description. But don't feel obligated to if you don't have the means to do so. Back to the match though, get to this foul play, but not before Gardevoir takes a lot of my HP, and I'm not able to recover from that. So, into the next match, another Victini lead, and I probably should be throwing at a double V create just because of the CMP issue with my 10 attack IV Victini. Its IVs are actually 10 attack, 14 defense, and 11 HP, I believe. And then the Malamar is a Shundo, and the Bronzong is a Hundo. So Malamar and Bronzong will typically win the CMP in the mirrors, well, pretty much always, and then Victini will pretty much always lose the CMP in the mirrors. So that's another reason I don't like to throw the energy first, because I'm not going to win CMP anyway, so kind of have to play it strategically with what I've got. You only get one Victini, and that's just what I was dealt, so. But, gonna try and see what this Victini can do. And it can't, dead Victini cannot beat a fully healthy Victini. So we lose that one, and immediately go into a Claydol lead. So, kinda rough. We are into my last set at this point, which was the only set I didn't go positive in. I won't spoil it for you, but my opponents got very good at this range, it seemed. And so I might make some adjustments as I climb. Hopefully I continue to climb instead of falling after I hit rank 20, which I'm getting pretty close. I'm at rank 18 and change. And as soon as you hit 19 to 20 is just a free rank up. So hopefully within these next couple of days I'll hit rank 20 and then subsequently ace. I at least want to hit veteran this season. We'll see how that goes with my schedule. See if I can keep doing all my battles. It would be cool to hit expert or legend, but I've never even hit veteran before, just because I typically taper off as the season goes on and quit doing my battles, or try to make videos that'll pull in views but don't necessarily perform super well in the meta. So, but these longer form videos kind of encourage me to play solid teams. I'm not sure if you just saw, I was able to flip a Gardevoir with Malamar in this battle, but we'll see if it's enough to actually take the game. And we both swap out. My Victini eats a Shadow Ball from Slowking, and I needed to basically get to 2 moves so I could take out the Malamar after I took out the Slowking. I was not able to, so another good game to my opponent, and another Victini lead. So they throw after they get to their second V create, and you can see they get to their second one before I'm able to throw my first, because they win CMP and I hadn't tapped before the first one. But I'm still able to throw. It's the nice thing about having shields and running Victini on the lead, is you're still able to throw that energy. And I only suffer debuffs on defense, so the attack is still pretty rough on my opponent. But Malamar into Medicham, not the best matchup for, it's one of the best matchups for Medicham to have because of the counters dealing neutral. And if you've been counting the matches up to this point, you would realize that this is actually the last one. So if you made it this far in the video, thank you for watching. Please be sure to leave that like, and we'll see you in the next one.